Final Fantasy 14. We're live, by the way, so I can just make sure people see us.
I mean, people shouldn't be able to see us, but they can hear us.
They can hear us. Safe is in chat right now. Safe. I don't know if we can read that, by the way. I usually let Shin do the A-ing and okaying of certain things.
I nope.
I mean, we usually ask for sensual, not sexual. We have the other email though we should read. Hey man,
yeah, we can look at the other one.
He said it's art.
I told him that it would be fine if we did it on an after hours show, but we couldn't do it as part of the recorded podcast.
Like after the show's over, like read it. It's gonna be pretty after hours, to be honest.
A few more of these.
You got booze, Moose? Show's better with booze. Watching it, making it, listening it later.
Susan Sprinkle's giving us more bits.
I'm gonna start with caffeine. We'll work our way up to booze.
Thanks for your bits.
I rail it both at once. I'm a madman.
We'll see at which point I feel like pouring the schnapps into the coffee.
There you go.
I got my bets on about 5 minutes into the show.
That's about right.
Probably shouldn't copy show notes into the tweet that I'm sending out.
No. By the way, gonna be a little off the cuff. That's why I said we can get that's why I told you what I told you, Moose. Everyone's gonna be in this piece. My phone didn't say it was live, but I'm here. Hi everyone. Hey Chili. Hey Safe. Susan. Para's in here. They won't air it. They want us to read the fucking thing.
Nope.
Can we read it after
it's not
the show?
not going into the recorded podcast.
Not in the recorded podcast. I'll read it after like the show.
I don't know, Safe. If you admit that you created this, does this also admit that you're like an Ishgardian?
I don't know. Wait, hold on.
Like an Ishgardian writing poor Uldan fanfic.
It's hi. Hold on a second. I think we could probably read it on the show for a large bit donation. You set a price. Let's see if we hit it.
No. Extra life.
Oh shit!
We gotta go above bits because bits cap out pretty easily.
All right.
Sorry, Chili. I was here like an hour ago, and we had other complications.
Yeah, I mean none of them were technical.
Gladys has a pretty big bottle with him, so yeah.
Those are the complications. Don't worry, I'm staying hydrated. I got this large ass bottle of water too.
Didn't specify what you had a bottle of.
Oh, I mean, yes. I will gladly admit to having written it. 45, I'll dangle my bits right. Chili's donated 45 bits.
It's more bits than I had in the document. Although it is slightly inconsistent.
Right. Hey, wait. We should probably do things and start stuff.
Should probably do the actual show.
Yeah.
Moose, do you have the editing permissions on this?
On the doc, let's find out.
He's in the doc. He's anonymous chinchilla.
I know, it's great.
If Moose is gonna have an alter ego, anonymous chinchilla would be a fantastic one to have.
Dude, don't worry. In like 2025. It's finally going to give me the most.
If you refresh, you should have edit permissions. Please feel free to add notes of things you want to talk about because, damn, this is yeah.
Oh, I mean, I know other things he wants to talk about. Hold on.
Okay, start typing them. Or Moose, if you want to add those other things, then we can start the show.
Wait, things I wanted to talk about? You just said like conspiracy theories.
That too. Yeah, let's throw them all in there. Fuck it. Garbage can lore. Like, just take garbage can lore.
This is like if you were on Musecast, but nothing that you would ever say on Musecast.
Yeah, think of it like that.
This is like if you were on the Crucible, but actually wanted good content.
Wait, how did you get Anonymous Neon Cat?
I don't know, but it's great.
How did that happen?
No, Para, I'm not at work anymore.
All right, let's start the show. By the way, fill that out. Do whatever comes to your crazy ass mind. I know you had some questions, so I know there's something you're like, what the R-rated musicast. All right, let's roll. Today is March 30th, 2018. This is episode 74 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Flatus and Shinder.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Flatus. With me, this host is a white mage on the streets, a red mage in the sheets. Berets, it's Shin. Hi, Shin.
I'm not ready.
No one ever is. This host is far well versed in the Shirley tantric sex moves. It's anonymous.
How's it going?
Hey.
That's definitely the first time I've gotten that intro.
Oh, well.
And it's probably the last. He comes up with a new one every time, so.
Yeah, it's true. Next time around here, who knows? Although, if you want me to, I'll introduce you to women fan fests. This guy knows all sorts of Shirleyan tantric sex moves. Listen, I'll hook you up with a cosplayer like that. Whatever you want. Point at a cosplayer, I'll get it for you. I don't even know what that means. That sounds so horrible.
I'm over here in the corner like, shouldn't that be Thevner? And
is that what they did in Thevner? All right. Add that to the list. Is that in the list? I want to make sure that's on the list. Thavnerian tantric sex moves. So, hi. Well, welcome to Maelstrom Radio. Well, sorry, let's try. Hi, welcome to Maelstrom Radio. The Final Fantasy XIV podcast where we said fuck it a long time ago. Still show up and do this. But it's been working, so here we are. And today we have a guest, and it's Anonymous from all sorts of things. You're all over the map, really. But you know, Gamerscape, lore, podcasting. You've been on Musecast a gaggle of times.
Pretty much anywhere that has any lore discussion going on, I just fall in eventually.
Yeah,
And eventually you fell way too deep.
you've gone too
That's
far. You've gone too far.
Hey, safe. Even though we have said fuck it, we haven't fallen below a set of standards like the Crucible has.
I'll cool it on pushing it. I said I read it after the show. Just like deep show. Anyway, hi.
Yeah, this is content that you have to be here after hours. It's not getting recorded.
Or slam us a bunch of, give us a bunch of fucking whatever those are, tesseracts. Send us tesseracts. Feed us more tesseracts, and we'll read it.
Anyways, let's get on to the news quickly since we're a little bit late and we want to push things through so that people can sleep.
All right, like Chili. Oh yeah. So there's a free login campaign from 3/27. That's already started earlier this week, going on till May 6th, and that is going to net you 90 hours. So you know how it works. We've always told you how the free login campaign is. As soon as you log in, that clock starts, regardless if you play it or not. So log in, use your time wisely. But I think 90 hours is a good chunk of time if you've not. It'll give you a chance to try Eureka out. Try out
That's
some
like
new
level
content.
5 in Eureka.
Yeah, that. I mean, it's solo or with a party. I'm gonna go solo. I'm gonna say solo. So yeah, go check that out. It's free hours is free. Also, not free. New optional item. You can get yourself a pair of carbuncle booties. Get some carbuncle booties. The authentic extravagant interior wall, so the Hatching Tide wallpaper from last year, and the exhilaration system mount. But the one thing that people got hella pissed at this past week was the $12 emote Mega Flare. They're like, the waste of money. Square Enix is just making us buy emotes. You know what that means? That you're just a fucking angry bastard who's like, I want that emote and I'm poor. I can't afford that emote.
Didn't even have to get a statue this time.
It's
Yeah,
a
you
lot
didn't have to
cheaper
get
than $150.
Yeah, no shit. Get the fuck over it. Go if you want it. Wait till it's on a sale and grab it. Listen, I hate to remind people, but I'm going to remind people. They are very open about what the money from the Mog Station goes to. It went to new servers. It went to the servers opening up the EU data centers. They were very open about that money going back into the game. I'm sure some of it goes to profit margin, but we're also certain that a lot of it does go back into the game and creating new content and continuing the support of Final Fantasy XIV. So, I think I have something here, right? I know I had something on. Where the fuck is it? I know I had it right on my board.
What are you looking for now?
I had something on my board that was like Sim it down or something.
I don't know.
Wait.
I will end you.
Nope, that's not it.
All right. We can just go.
Can we?
Yep.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You come out with stink like that. Poop. Your poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
That's for Safe's letter.
Leave that for later.
All right. So, all right. Let's. That fell pretty flat. All right. Listen, I thought I had on my board the guy saying "simmer the fuck down" or "calm the fuck down" or some shit like that. I thought I had that on my board, but I don't. It makes me sad though, because I have this. Oh, you know what? This is appropriate. I got this. How about this?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah, why you have to be mad? Anyway, let's talk lore. Got Anonymous here. and he's a are you certified in lore? How does that work? Like, I knew WoW lore out my ass, but I
They just keep talking about it, and eventually people stop contradicting you.
Oh, okay. So you just
the Muhammad Ali approach.
Oh, you mean float like a butterfly, sting like a bee?
Just I'm the greatest of all time, and eventually people stop saying like, no, that's not true.
A certain name must be changed on a certain server. Can we get his name to be the greatest of all time, the greatest moose of all time, please? Can we get you a badge that says that? How does that work? Anyway, so I try very hard to keep up with the lore in Final Fantasy XIV, and I don't know if it's because I just played the shit out of World of Warcraft in Warcraft, 1, 2, 3, World of Warcraft, that the lore just started sticking with me, or it's just because I had so much time in the game that I was like bored one day and I was like, I'm gonna read all the things. And maybe it's me, and maybe I feel like, is the lore, I don't know how accessible the lore is in Final Fantasy XIV versus other MMOs. Having played a lot of MMOs, I will speak that not a lot of them have even give a shit about lore. So how do you feel like the lore in Final Fantasy XIV, like how accessible do you think it is to somebody that wants to learn about the lore?
If you're trying to learn about it for the first time, it's actually pretty difficult, because so much of it is spread throughout the game in like little tiny places, and you have to kind of pick it up as you go and then put all the pieces together to come out with any real information. So I see questions on Reddit all the time, like, where's a good place to go to get started with the lore? And it's just like, you get the book and then you go to the forum and start asking questions. It's about your only option.
Do you think that's a downfall though? Like, WoW didn't make it easy, right? WoW hid things across the world. You kind of had to dig that up, but they made it interesting to find, if that makes any sense. Like they wanted you to explore the world. And that's one of my, one of my only complaints. Well, one of my few complaints about Final Fantasy XIV is that the world's not an explorable place. It's like you explore it for fucking like nodes and shit to mine and gather, but you don't explore it for lore. Like there's not like little secret areas like, what's this statue over here? And you read it and there's something on there. And but there's none of that. There's none of those little like nooks and crannies with like these little tidbits that older MMOs had. Like EverQuest had like little nuggets of stuff hidden across the world, and you'd read and it might give you a quest. It might be a riddle. It might be some bullshit, but it was something interesting that right, later. All right, go ahead.
The difficulty in getting started is like really the only downside, because the world feels really organic. And like what I feel is the strength of 14 is that anything in the game, if you think, like, oh, what's over that hill? What if I read into this a little deeper? What if I ask this question? There's always an answer. There's something to look for. Like you never just kind of pull back the curtain and it's a brick wall.
Am I supposed to make a Sephiroth joke there?
The edge is calling tonight.
Yeah, what's it like when you pull back the curtain? Oh, brick wall. I try. Like I have the lore book. It's right here. In fact, it's right. See, it's my lore book right here. And that thing reads like stereo instructions. I don't care. Okay, maybe me and Moose are the only two people that got the Beetlejuice joke there. That's fine. But I made that joke and staying there. I'm leaving it there. Please tell me, Moose, you got the Beetlejuice joke. Tell me I'm not the only one.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Finally, someone. Me and Moose are gonna start like another podcast where we just make random references to like 80s movies and horror classics.
Just date the audience by who gets what.
Yeah. You got it. All right, so it's hard to get into, but once you get into it, once you start figuring the lore out, does it start to fall into place like fairly quickly? Like, all right, this is Sharlayan, this is this is Garlean, this is all like does it all start to fall into place?
Yeah, even if all you have is a lore book, if you remember a good chunk of like the PR blurbs from in there, you start making the connections as you go through everything else. And a lot of it's a lot of it's self-contained. Like if you know a little bit about Amdapor and you go into a dungeon and you look at like the names of the rooms and what enemies are in there, you can see this like little story unfolding that you wouldn't have noticed if you didn't have that info.
Got it. So it's very much there are tools around you. Like you can buy this lore book. Like for example, WoW started putting out like what they're calling chronicles, and it's like their compendium of all the WoW lore in the form of an art book. So it starts off at the earliest ages in the primordial world of Azeroth, but it's all like 10,000 years or actually further back. Like there was nothing, and then there was something, and here it is, and it's growing. And that's a cool concept. Like there's volume 1, 2, 3, and it's all art, and it's all hand drawn. It shows you like the evolution of certain creatures and races and the Titans and everything like that. I would love to see that, like just to be like, here's the here's Sharlayan tech and like where they came from and all this, and like, all right, cool, like that makes sense. And I would love to see that. I would love to get deeper. I would love to have another lore book like in a different fashion than this. Like lore for beginners, or like lore cards or something. Like
I think that's kind of one thing that Square doesn't do so well, that a lot of other franchises have. Like there is a lot of lore, and Final Fantasy is a very, very lore heavy game, but they don't really make that lore accessible to the average person.
Yeah, I've had to like go into back issues of Dengeki to learn. So they don't really think ahead of time of where it's gonna go. But I mean, it kind of plays into why no one should be intimidated by it. Like just pick something and start digging. Because the idea that the lore is like this monolithic thing that's like consistent and whole, and you just have to find pieces of it, that's like an illusion that they've been building for years. The lore was in tatters for a long time, and it's just like one big shell game Oda and Koji were playing.
I just see like Moose in the corner with like a Dengeki spoon, heating it up from the bottom. He's like, gotta get my lore fix.
I was like making custom tweet deck filters.
How bad
That's
was
how
that?
you know when you're deep.
Yeah, that's how bad it's. So,
have you ever gone to the Square Enix devs and such, and been like started talking to them, and they just start running away?
The main person that I talk to is Koji, just because he's one of the ones that's on the floor and speaks English, and he's always really excited when someone recognizes something. Like when we were doing the Heavensward demo on the floor at E3, I was like, oh, Hangar's Crucible, that was on the map in 1.0. And he like really excitedly points at me and goes, yes, the map team forgot that.
The map team forgot it. How did you? God, I'm telling these guys. So, with that being said, all right. So we know that there were like the Sharlayans and I'm not gonna remember all their names. There's the Sharlayans. Like I'm trying to think of the old. Were they races, people, like other cultures? Like cultures, right?
Yeah, that's a good word.
All right.
Ancient city states.
Do you think they still exist in some place? Like, or do you think they actually are gone?
I think it varies from culture to culture, but I've got this like running conspiracy theory that the Allagons are coming back.
That's what we want.
That's when we're going to the moon, right?
I mean, it's a good place to start. We have to build our defenses somewhere. But I mean, if they had starships and they had interstellar technology, then only the people on the ground were screwed. Like, I'm sure the ships are going to come back one day.
We had the cutscenes in 2.0 with them on the moon. We can go back. Didn't we have moon?
Yeah, we had a lot of moon. There was Heavensward was moon heavy. It was. There was a lot of stuff on the moon. Those Realm Reborn. Actually, in Stormblood, very moonlight. No moon at all in Stormblood, to be honest. Little to no moon in Stormblood. A lot of moon in a Realm Reborn and Heavensward.
Because like the Ascian connection confirmed, the Ascians go away, the moon goes away.
Yo, we can still call it Ancient Elegant Tech, because anything of the new Elegant Tech would just be that much better.
Chili in chat, but if they come back, then we can't call it Ancient Elegant Tech anymore. I mean, you can, because they can come back and be like, that's iPod first edition. This is iPhone 10. What are you talking about?
Right?
ancient technology. That's my Walkman.
They're just gonna be really impressed those pulse nights are still working.
Be impressed that they still have Tiamat or
Right.
trapped.
Trapped. Well, I mean, they could break her out. She's just in there by choice.
Yeah,
Well,
going
yeah, but
somewhere
it's still
she should
running.
leave on her own.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, no, I'm being punished. Just punish me here.
That'd be great if Alog, thought that at first. Like they walk up, like, "Wow, it's held her all this time." She's like lifting one wing, something snaps.
She's like,
Oops.
damn it, Jeff! I told you to check the straps. There's one Alec named Jeff. Jeff the Alec. All right, so I know there's a big point of contention between a lot of our I guess other fellow content creators about a certain city state. And now I don't know where you fall in that city state on the like, hate, oh, I'm okay with it, or I like it, or I hate it spectrum. But what are your thoughts on Ishgard? And
This is going where I think it's going. You might have to put a slow limiter on the chat. Make sure only one message per minute.
Don't worry, I'm watching it.
Yeah, he's got it. All right, Tex is on it. he's got his quick dry. I mean, do you think? I've explained this, like, I think on a long rant with our cohort and friend Safe. Safe's big thing is that Ishgard is like initially the city state is evil, right? But you being a the person you are, I know you've played other MMOs, or are you just strictly 11 and 14, or have you actually dabbled in other MMOs?
Dabble is the right word.
All right,
play. I wouldn't accuse me of having played many MMOs.
All right, fair.
I've done my fair share of free trials. Okay.
All right, that's fair. But do you believe that Ishgard fell to the trap of MMO-itis, where it was just like the city state wasn't evil, like it wasn't, it was just like it like the story is just that they were all lied to, like the whole city state was lied to by evil Pope and the Pope's gang of knights.
I think there's going to be like a big correlation in terms of people who are good at imagining the people we don't see and the people who aren't. Like if you play Stormblood or even like 15, it feels like that a lot of the people in the world are cardboard cutouts that you just kind of have to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people we meet in Ishgard are dicks. So we got like the one or two nice people per house that we know, and then a whole bunch of antagonists. And if you can't imagine all of the people in the room who are just trying to get by, then yeah, kind of tips the scales.
True. And see, I think I saw that as well. Like, I think my headcanon was that not all of Ishgard is bad. Like, you're going to tell me this whole area is like, well, this is where all the douchebags are. This is the douchebag city. So, but that wasn't the case. There were plenty of people willing to fight their way and overthrow evil Pope. But I think I to me, I'm also in the same boat as that. I think the dragons also had every right to be, I mean, pissed off, but also bad guys in the same sense. Like I always say that Nidhogg and Estinian are the same character. It's like just I'm sorry, go ahead.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, right. Thank you. They're the same as that character, and that's why them combining into one made so much sense, and that's why it's spoiler alert. This whole fucking podcast, by the way.
We got 3.0 spoilers here.
All right.
3.x spoilers.
Yeah, we got 3x spoilers, by the way. But it's
I will warn if we get into 4.x.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very much a. I mean, do I think he should have died? Like I kind of understand why they kept him around or why they keep him around, but I mean, I completely understand why the dragons did what they did. I understand why Ishgard did what they did. Like they were lied to. Like people fucking took eyes and shit. It's like these are gonna give us power, and like all right, well, fucking let's suck out eye juice or whatever.
A war narrative is only compelling when both sides think they're doing the right thing, which is why it's kind of hard to see Garlemald always as the evil empire type, but not many people see him as that, so you kind of have to force it sometimes.
I
Like,
mean,
no-
you have
no
such
matter-
nice people like Asai who are trying to help people.
Listen,
it's
he's
been
a dick.
years. It's been years, and no matter what Square Enix throws at people, they're still like, I want to fight for Garlemald.
I don't listen. Once I saw Sai, I was like, get the fuck out. If the bowl cuts are my future, get the hell out of here. Bowl cuts are evil as shit. Like, that guy's the most evil Garlean character ever. Get the fuck out of here. That haircut, that's a travesty.
That's how you pegged him, huh?
That's it. I was like, nope, they're evil. If that
I
they
gave
let
up. I gave up pegging people by haircuts in Heaven's Word because I saw Amric and I was like, oh no, like nice hair, silky voice, he's gonna stab you right in the back.
Oh no,
I'm gonna
Asai
leave this one.
no, I saw that bowl cut coming a mile away. I was like, I even told Shin, I was like, this bowl cut's evil as shit. Wait for it.
Yeah,
whole-
yeah.
The
I
whole
was
time
actually-
when, oh god,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, the whole time I thought he was gonna be completely evil, and then right at the end, I'm like, okay, maybe he's actually good, and then he becomes completely evil. That's great.
the whole way coming into the patch, I tried to be like really kind of centrist and non-judgmental, like, oh, maybe he's going to be our new antagonist, maybe he's going to be like the Carly and Larza everyone's waiting for. It could go either way. And then he talked for 30 seconds and I was like, nah, he seems sensible. And then 60 seconds, nah, he's bad. No one on their side is that sensible.
Again, real
Yeah,
quick.
Everyone loves Xenos.
Chili in chat. Fuck Ishgard, praise Lava Scorpion. Oh, what's Lava Scorpion, Laura? It doesn't exist in game. It's okay. It's only Chili canon. Does Lava Scorpion exist?
Chili is like the head priest of the Lava Scorpion cult.
Yep. If there's ever a cultist group for Lava Scorpion, Chili, you're gonna see Chili's character model.
So, going with piggybacking off of Xenos here, one thing that I know has been kind of contentious in a few communities is what happens with some of the leaders. We had in 2.0, we had Gaius being a very big boss who ended up not really doing a whole lot in the end. And there's still some theories around him. We know we had Thoradin, who we've definitely killed many times and never drops a bird. And also we have Xenos here, who I won't say anything because I'm not going to say anything about 4.0 spoilers, but it seems that we have something against like defeating these things. Like, any thoughts on that? Trying to stay away from like 4.0-ish spoilers right now.
Well, I think for a country that's all about the chain of command, they really suck about appointing anyone new to fill the positions we've killed. The whole Legion just kind of goes home. But
we killed the top guy, better send the army home.
yeah,
He couldn't do it, no one's good enough.
Wait,
it's
he
been
died?
almost 6 years and the 7th is still just gone.
They're just running out of seats. It's because they like nobody's that smart and strong.
But no, don't worry about Gaius's feats. When he gets back, he's gonna do some big things.
That's what I was waiting for. There it is. Okay, so I'm in the same club as you. I don't think Gaius is dead. I think Gaius is still alive.
I didn't like when I first started saying it, I didn't believe it at all. I was just kind of like, wow, it's kind of a shame he's dead. They warped his character a bit. And then there were a couple of hints in the game that kind of leaned towards mentioning him for no reason. And I was like, oh, what if he might still be alive? And every time I said it, I got dogpiled. And it was like, well, I don't believe it, but it's not unsound. And everyone dogpiling, yes, it is unsound, it's impossible, just made me like grip onto, no, it's totally possible, much harder. And now I just like to
leaving
troll
open-ended questions in MMOs is that like if you don't get a definitive answer that so and so is dead, then you can keep like there is no proof. You can have that theory, and then but even now like with the way that Square keeps doing things over and over and over and over again, Even if someone is on screen dead, they have said this person is dead, the person is killed, they still could come back in a few patches.
That's where I'm at. Like a few patches ago, saying like there's no way he could have survived that explosion carried some weight. But on the list of things that people have survived in this game, that's on like page 6 now.
Yeah. So on the question of potentially dead protagonists, Lisa's sister. Where do you think she might fall into this?
As of 4.1, probably dead. But I mean, I'm just glad that the conspiracy theory that she was actually Xenos didn't pan out. Were you guys immune to this? Did you not see this one?
No, I saw it.
Oh,
I saw it.
Yeah.
I was immune to it. I saw it, but I was just like, no.
I remember seeing that when the footage first came out and being like, yeah, that could be a thing and that would be an amazing thing, but no, I don't see Square ever doing that.
Every legatus or legatus, depending on pronunciation, is actually just a female pretending. It's going to be a running theme now.
I was saying we have prior.
I just think I have a whole new set of crushes.
On Xenos?
I mean, if it's a female pretending.
Gender bent Ida Xenos?
Hold on a sec. Where is that? Somebody get me that.
I'm just going to wait until RFC is planning on doing Coil sometime soon, synced. And I'm just waiting for everyone to come out and play with Nail.
Everyone's going to get a little piece of Nail. Can't wait. Can't wait for the Nail.
Fruit on that one.
All right, so speaking of dead, we saw, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I'm being truthful here. I mean, speaking of like the bad, I mean, what about the good? Like we saw Papa Limo bite the big one. Do you think he's actually gone, or do you think he'll make an? Do you think I predict he may make an appearance in Omega?
I think all bets are off in Omega. Anything can happen in Omega.
Omega's wacky as shit.
Omega, so
Omega's wacky as shit. That place is.
I feel like they were trying to put him in the coffin with like the tattoo disappearing, like the last vestige of his soul is gone. But in Omega, there are no limits.
I mean, we've also had things like Minfilia go off into wherever the hell she is. I still think that they're going to bring her back at some point because
I think she'll come back.
Yeah.
But do you think she'll come back alive? Do you think she'll just be like as a part of the crystal though?
As much as any character in this game dies.
She's supposed to be vaguely equivalent to Elidibus now, so I think she'll come back in like a quasi-person form.
She'll be an anti-Ascian.
I think she'll be her enough that it would be right to call her Minfilia, but maybe not right to call her alive and a person.
So Assassian, like just sassy.
So she's a Minfilia, but she's not a person or alive.
Yeah, it's her soul, but she's not a living person. She didn't survive the process.
So like regular Minfilia, soulless, and just like her character.
Her character had soul.
Did it?
People underestimate the value of a good manager.
That's true. Like, look, she disappeared, and Alfie kind of took over, and then the whole Crystal Braves stuff went to hell.
Yeah, but he learned. Listen, everybody's rough.
Oh, he learned, but it was a hellish expansion.
Like, listen, everybody's got a training period in their first 90 days. After that, also, but I know we got to talk about that frivolous spending though, and that damn sword.
I'm just saying, Minfilia died, and then we got Ishgard.
That's my only evidence, basically, is we spent a little while following Alphino, and we spent a little while following Lise, and I think people underestimated the value of a good manager.
I mean, Alfie's good with money. Let's put Alfie in charge of money. We're buying the sword. Full price. Like, damn it, Alfie.
I like how she scolds him for not even trying to haggle.
Really, the new manager really is Tataru. Honestly, she's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. She's wheeling and dealing. Honestly, a good manager can get you people to She got a free boat ride. That's cost effective right there. She's the new manager. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Tataru's new manager.
Tataru is running the Scions.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
yeah. She's the low key. She's the low key manager. She's the glue keeping that shit together.
I'm on board with this. The linchpin.
Yeah, she is. Think about it. She got them the boat ride no cost because she's fucking underhandedly like making deals with pirates and shit. It makes sense. Fucking got to a new city, changed her clothes so she can hang out in the bar and get information. Looks cute as a fucking button in that outfit.
And she makes her own clothes and clothes for everyone else.
Yeah, and fucking made me a styling outfit. I go to weddings in that outfit, dyed it a fucking dark, nice color. I show up, dressed to impress. Fucking, she knew her new look is on point. It is on point. What was that? Make Ishgard Ash again? Oh Jesus. No, I think Ishgard's fine. I think Ishgard.
Yeah, you just have to be really careful about North Ishgard.
Yeah, hella north Ishgard. Hella north. Gotta go real north at Ishgard. All right, so we're on to so we spoke a little bit about Minfilia. Can I ask real quick? Like, Shin and I are kind of divided a little bit about a certain scion. He doesn't like. I like. I think I understand his reasoning.
Can burn in flames.
Yeah, he doesn't like Urianger. I am okay with Urianger because I kind of understand his reasoning behind everything.
It had nothing to do with that whole thing that he did. I just don't like Urianger as a person.
Oh, as a person? Like,
Yeah, period. I hate him.
Did you play 1.0?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that might be why I'm biased. Because 1.0 kind of fleshes him out a little differently and gives him a different introduction and a little different justification, I guess.
behind
Like,
what he did.
he showed up as a GM and started like yelling all these fantasies and casting weird buffs on people, and he would disappear. And there were all these rumors like, oh, he's a evil 1500-year-old mage, which was like an Ascian foreshadow, or he's a real prophet of some sort, et cetera, et cetera. But he distracted the Garleans for a while. And by the time the Grand Companies come back, Ida thinks it's hilarious that everybody followed Urianger around because he's just a socially awkward dude. Like, he just played the part of this mysterious prophet so well because he spent all of his time with old books and none of it with modern people, and he's just awkward.
Oh, so you just associate. Like, I also like old books. I kind of get it. And also, like, he had a nice lady who really was into him, and he was super awkward about it. And then it was too late, and she was gone, and he was like, "Damn it!" He got real all bummed out about it. Listen, we've all been there, right? No, it's
Yes,
me.
and then he decides to like betray everyone and
Listen,
get people killed.
listen. A man
It's
with
a
a
terrible
broken heart.
breakup, but that's no excuse for being an asshole.
Listen. A man with a broken heart. Listen, you got to deal with it in your own way. It sucks, but you know.
Bringing about the end of the world is not how to deal with that.
Hey, if I would have brought her back.
He brought part of her back.
Only part.
You do the optional text, like, do you talk to people when you don't have to?
Sometimes.
Yes.
Also in game.
Yeah, there's a there's a line where Urianger basically says, "Oh yeah, I would have ended up with the Ascians, but you know, you convinced me that you can make the impossible possible, and we should have faith in other options." And you gotta just be like, "Thanks."
Roro fight the power.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for letting me see the light. I appreciate it. Fist bump. Pata! Urianger out. Well, he's been missing fairly, like, pretty much for all of 4.0, so you haven't really seen him. He's taking a back seat, so I'm not too worried. Most of who else has taken a back seat though recently?
Everyone. It's really just been Alize, Kryl, and Alfie.
And well, yeah, true. Lise hasn't really.
It's been quiet. Lisa's been mostly quiet, apart from like the intro and the outro of patches.
Yeah.
And
you know, I have a great question for Moose. I want to see if he can give me an answer. Why
what's
does
her name is still quiet?
who?
The blind one, Y'shtola.
The
The one who was so
blind-
popular in
blind one?
Ishgard.
The blind
Yeah.
one. I mean, she's technically blind. She uses her Wonder Twin powers to. Is that what the echo? What? Why are you face palming?
The echoes how the T-Rex flies.
Everything has. Listen, fucking. Can we? All right. I also got questions about the bullshit lore sometimes this game throws at us too. But
no, blaming the echo for everything is one of my pet peeves.
Why does? Well, no, because at least with the elephant, they're like, no, magic carpet stapled to its back. Stapled.
That's true. I thought I was gonna blame the echo for the elephant flying, but they actually put lore into why the elephant flies.
Magic carpet stapled to its back.
No, it's this running thing that makes me grind my teeth, because there's this line a long time ago, like the echo can manifest in a lot of ways, but all of the ways it manifests are like ways a soul that has like a very thin border might resonate with another soul. But people took that line literally and just started giving themselves any fucking Marvel superpower they wanted and being like, yeah, it's the echo's fault.
Oh, wait, like in game, like as NPCs or like RP?
No, more on the RP side.
Oh, okay, get the fuck out. I'm kidding. We love you, lore community. Please, or RP community. Please don't hate us. I gave you like 87 episodes, and I'll probably give you 87 more.
But seriously, rethink your whole echo piece. Also, this is episode 74. You're nowhere near 87 yet.
Oh, I mean, minutes wise. If I would have counted those as double episodes. Some of them almost went 3 hours. Those are deep episodes. Deep lore. Deep RP. Deep RP.
Phrasing aside.
Deep. I mean, we'll get to that one. That's how we're gonna end it.
We're getting close to our time, so
I know, but it won't take us long, to be honest. I do want to ask about Kryle's eyes. Kryle's eyes are very different from other Lalafell. She has very special, like, cat-like eyes. Is there a reason for that? Is it like some sort of power she has, or some sort of gift? Or does she just have cool eyes?
You know, I have no idea.
Like, I've always wondered that.
Stumped Anonymous.
Think about it for a minute.
Oh shit, I just stumped the moose.
Hey, a lack of information does not mean there's information I don't know. So there's no information.
To be fair, too, this means that it can be added to the list of questions to ask Koji next time that you see him.
Yeah, because her eyes are very different. Night, Chili. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the bits.
Are they different than most Plainsfolk eyes? I'm looking at it. I could
believe they're separate.
Yeah.
I'm searching right now because Kryle's eyes are very, very different.
They're definitely a color we don't see very often, and we don't meet Plainsfolk very often either. Kind of like overlap her with another one.
Trying to find a picture of Kryle. Searching for Mad Kryle eyes right now. Like, they're very, like, her pupil itself is very, like, cat-like. It's not... I mean, she also has, like, the cat-type, like, ears on her little outfit. Kryle's just adorable. To me, like, I'd probably take Kryle out on a date. We're gonna just end it on, like, which character are you gonna date? Which NPC would you go on a date with?
Bring back the favor system.
Oh, dude, I'd favor Kryle in a minute. Because I would just be like, what's your eyes about? What's going on there? Also, her hair. I don't know. She's cute. She's a cutie.
I think they went out of their way to use a bunch of themes, because, like, that character design is from another Final Fantasy. They had to, like, mesh it into this one as well as possible. So, like, the cute cat ears became like a symbol for being able to hear the echo, and her echo manifested mostly visually. So I imagine that's why they did something different with her eyes. But if there's something unique about them, I haven't noticed.
Yeah, there are. I gotta find, like, Plainsfolk and then look. But there is something very, like, pictures I'm finding of Kryle very shitty. Like, I may have to find Kryle in game and get a picture of her eyes, but I mean, I've mentioned it to Shin on multiple occasions that Kral's eyes are very different, and he's like, yes, they are. Like, it's a noticeable difference from like Lalafell to Krile. And Kral's eyes are very like, it's not only the color, it's like the pupil itself, the iris itself is very, like I said, cat-like instead of being they look, no, not plain eyes, jeez. Like, I got a picture of plain eyes with eyes painted on planes. Try planes, folk.
Can look at them after.
Yeah, looking at them now. Yeah, see, hers are still different. Like, they're not like, I don't. It could just because she's a special character in NPC that she gets special eyes, but
Yeah, no, they move stuff like that around all the time.
yeah. So I don't know.
They actually look kind of similar to Papalymo's, so
It's much easier to swap out one or two characteristics than to make like a whole unique character, or a new race, or something like that. Like how most of the Garleans are just Elysian.
Right. All right. Well, I think that answers my crazy questions I had about lore. The accessibility is, like you said, is hard, but it's doable. If you know, there's probably like a lore podcast I could probably go listen to and get a lot of these shit answered. I mean, and I you know, I'll always throw props out to the FSU, of course, and Sarah on Phoenix Down, because you're the and if there's anybody else out there, please, I apologize, but you're the three I know for sure. Like, you know, FS digs in very, you know, deep. You know, you are also a guru. Sarah breaks it down between the real world and the connections to, you know, Eorzea, which is super interesting to and we know that, like, Final Fantasy has always been a type of game where it blends what real world cultures and their gods and everything and brings it into Eorzea, puts their twists on it and makes it a Final Fantasy game. And that's what they've done for years. I mean, since since I mean, it's always been a thing for them. So they will always continue to do that. So I mean, if we ever, I guess, we're stuck on lore in game, we can always turn to what the lore of our cultures and our history of the world is, look at that stuff and how they brought it into game and turned it and paid tribute to what cultures around the world have and brought it into the game, which is always super interesting. So if you don't know that, go do that research, and that'll blow your mind for like a day.
And never be afraid to ask questions. Like, come into the official lore forum or Gamerscape's Discord, anywhere that has a lore thing that I'm in. Like, go ahead and bug me. I don't care. I like answering questions.
Speaking of questions, we have one last one.
We do.
Uh-oh.
It's the reason for all this. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there are two old money sisters from old money that own a certain tabloid called The Crucible, who believe Hydaelyn is flat. Now I'm an intelligent person, and we here at Maelstrom Radio believe Hydaelyn is not flat. Hydaelyn is a round, of course, planet, because we've seen it from the moon. But what is your take on flat Hydaelyn theory?
I think it would explain the movements of the moon.
How quick it is?
Looking up at the corner here, but too much follows real world cosmology, which I shouldn't start a sentence like that because so much of it doesn't. But the way that the land masses are laid out, the way that tectonics work, the way that we've seen weather work, it all kind of lines up with a spherical Earth or spherical Hydaelyn. But the never changing seasons, the fact that the moon comes up and goes down in the same place every night, and yet the phase changes even though the light source doesn't. I could see where people might get a little paranoid, especially the Thornton fight. I mean, we saw the moon, or we saw the planet from space in that fight too, and we weren't anywhere different. I mean, there could be an Alagon soundstage somewhere Elidibus took everyone to.
There you go.
Now, to be fair, when you're fighting Thoradin, that could just be his thoughts of what the space should kind of be like, because he was under like the whole primal influence thing, Echo, whatever. And he could just be like projecting his own weird Ishgardian thoughts into everyone's head.
He was on Dragon Juice.
On Dragon Shoes.
It's his protes.
Saw only eyes.
Yeah. Got his protein.
That was how Thornton's Echo manifested.
Hungry Thorin, before he became a primal, he was just singing Hungry Eyes into the eyes of the dragon. He's like, Hungry Eyes. And all of a sudden, the kid just is like, I'm ready to fight.
So we did ask people, and some of the responses we had are, of course, the Crucible believe that Hydaelyn is flat, mostly because they have a map of Hydaelyn, or map of... actually, they just sent out a map of Eorzea, so I'm not sure if they think Eorzea is also Hydaelyn, or they just have no idea what's going on here. But because the map is flat, therefore Hydaelyn is the flat. We also did have a couple other hits from a few other people on Twitter. Clearly, Hydaelyn is 2 cones. It is crystal shape, of which I kind of agree. The follow-up to that is the top cone is 14, and the bottom cone is Final Fantasy 11. And we also got one email from a certain Kane Tharbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
A certain one.
Oh, the only certain. Very certain.
Half debating if I should be reading this verbatim or if I should just summarize.
I mean, I guess you just read it verbatim. You don't want to like twist his words or anything. He wrote it.
All right, Kane Tharbreaker. Hydaelyn is round, the end. Crucible is inbred, the end. And Flatus looks better as a ginger. Thank Ockmorn for Flatus dying as hair ginger for extra life.
Nope. Nope.
No, the end on that one.
I mean, you know, still give to extra life. I'm not dyeing my hair. Listen, I can't. My job. I cannot for my job. I cannot do that. Let's just put that out there now. Dyeing my hair is not an option for my job. They're pretty lax company on many, many things. Dyeing my hair ginger is not going to happen. I have very dark hair. It would not turn out right. I'd end up looking like the big chubby dad from Dream Daddy in the end. Like big, you know, bear-like and ginger.
In my head, I'm still laughing at 2 cones. I was expecting someone to claim that Hydaelyn is a polyhedron. I was expecting someone to claim that Miqo'te would have pushed everything off of it by now if it was flat. But I was not expecting 2 cones.
2 cones was probably my favorite answer.
It's a giant crystal, right? Like that's kind of like 2 cones.
It is 2 cones. It's a top. It could. Yeah.
Now, according to this, 14's a bottom.
It's a plug for sure.
And you all are worried about reading Safe's thing.
That goes beyond our normal show.
Want to see my new Hydaelyn crystal? I just opened up a whole new market for Final Fantasy 14. If they don't step on it, I will. Make the
Badcrystal.com.
I would definitely suggest not stepping on the crystal.
No, don't do that. Don't do that at all. I got one more question and then we'll be out. I got one more question because I think it's the biggest question we could probably ask, and I didn't think of asking it until just now, which is my fault. But Final Fantasy 14 multiverse theory. because it clearly is a thing, right? Like we're not, you and I, all three of us are not stupid individuals. Like clearly it's a thing, right? Like we have I can't, and I forget her name, but she's around someplace, right? Like the lady from Final Fantasy 11, she got transported to Eorzea. She's clearly in Eorzea.
No.
Oh yes, my friend.
No, don't do this to me.
I am.
My
I will.
poor blood pressure.
I mean, clearly it's a thing, right? Like, and it's not the only time it's happened. You know, other characters have shown up. I have a feeling 15 will show up.
It's not my most popular position, but I don't consider any of that shit canon, like at all.
Really?
It's
You
not-
don't?
So including the Yokai
No.
Watch crossover event that's happened twice.
I was a little iffy on whether Yokai Watch was canon. I have to admit, it got me close to re-examining my views.
Hmm.
But it all feels like it's like quasi canon. It's like the dev teams RPing with you. That's what I take these events to be.
Really? Because I don't know, because they've broken the, like, Yoshi P is not afraid to break that fourth wall, right? Like they've done it before. We've gone to the, what was it, the 31st floor or something like that?
Right.
And we've broken that fourth wall. Like, hey, like, welcome, and here's all these people, and like this. And to be fair, like that event, that anniversary event was amazing. Like, it was one of those times where I was playing an MMO and I was like, they really do care about their player base. Like, for a fact that they broke.
To be fair, as someone who is occasionally like bugs people who are on the dev team, I do have a bit of a bias because I have had Yoshi P say to my face, Hydaelyn is isolated. It's not connected to any other world. I've had the main scenario writer was on Letter from the Producer Live saying it's not connected to any other world at all. Yoshi P stomped down the theories that it was Final Fantasy V connected when Omega came out. You had Matsuno-san when Ivalice first came out. Everyone was like, oh, it's a prequel. Oh, it's a sequel. Maybe it's connected to Ivalice somehow. And he actually went on Twitter and was like, it's not a prequel, you adults. So I've got like all this floating around in my head whenever this question comes up, and it really skews my ability to think about it.
I mean, it's an odd way of saying no. It's an isolated world with all this other stuff. And like, so rather you're saying that Final Fantasy 11 or 14, excuse me, 14 is the amalgamation of all Final Fantasy games into one, like it's like kind of like Grundlefly, like it was all thrown into a transporter and kind of spit out. It's just
it's like what's a good way to think about it? Okay, when everybody played 1.0, they were like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? This doesn't feel like Final Fantasy at all. And that was one of the major complaints about it. So when Yoshida came in, he was like, oh, it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy does it. Well, how about Crystal Tower?
Yeah.
So it's like there's all this nostalgia stuff in it. He kind of sees it like a theme park, where not in the traditional, when you think MMO theme park, but a literal amusement park where
like
he has
a Final Fantasy theme park.
Yeah, he's built an attraction for all sorts of things that would be familiar from other games. But the ticket price for coming into the game is that it has to score into the world somehow. It can't be from the other world. It has to fit into Hydaelyn somehow, even if it's like a direct ripoff of something else. It's like a loving homage more than a ripoff.
I don't know. To me, I think almost the 11 one feels like a connection though, because I think even in 11, doesn't she disappear and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, she's here now.
Oh, dude, they know they're kicking the hornet's nest. They know
yeah.
it.
Yeah, like that one seems a little too close to home to be like, nah.
Even on the minions, the Eureka minions that just came out, like they name drop the Mithra, and you can kind of find a way to hand wave that. They make a Dissidia joke in the new Omega minion after denying there was any connection there at all.
The minion text and stuff usually is completely non-canon, though, is it not?
I used to consider a good deal of it canon until we got to a lot of the weird, again, like crossover minions. So now it's kind of holiday events, minions, mounts, it's all kind of sliding into this quasi-canon thing for me.
What about the Raban minion?
Wacky, getting real, or fucking
The one that apologized for Raban Savage.
or what is it? Is it Nanamo's minion where she's like sleeping or whatever.
Yep.
Like snore, Raban. Or
I mean,
which-
the Fafnir minion even makes a joke about drop rates. So at this point, we know we're breaking the fourth wall.
yeah. I mean, so, you know, and you need that. You need that little bit of fun, right? Like you need that little bit of like break the fourth wall, make a little like a catchy Final Fantasy joke here and there to break.
But the
monotony.
multiverse is always going to be like a hot button topic because some people really like that. Like they like them all to be connected. They play Dissidia and they're like, yeah, that's amazing. And until that door is like completely concretely closed, you don't want to be like pompously, no, that can't be, that's not possible. Yoshida said blah 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 blah.
All right, so all right, I won't say it's a multiverse within other Final Fantasies, but then what I will say is that there's other Eorzeas, right? There are other like multiverse Eorzeas because clearly the Warriors of Darkness came from another Eorzea where it's like darkness consumed us, and then Hydaelyn was like, I'll take you back.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the timetable, but they are all direct copies of Hydaelyn at a certain point in time. But there's enough of a difference between them inherently, and there's been enough time since then that they've all like butterfly affected out of control. So theoretically, none should be too close to us.
You know we're gonna get a fucking expansion where we hop that bullshit, right? You know that.
It's gotta be coming. Like I think about the possibilities that they could have when they wrap up the Ascian arc, and it's like I imagine someone sitting at the board table like time travel sold well in 11.
Yep.
Well, I think that did you not hear me when I say sold well?
Sold well. Sold. Listen, I'm not one to know when time travel does and does not sell well because I'm a man who ran the you know the Temple of Time raids, or not Temple of Time, the fucking the Cavern of Time raids in World of Warcraft, where it took you back to like Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, and did specific like campaigns as raids and those things, which was really cool. And it took you back in time, but it was still like, but it did it so that you could complete those tasks. Like the demons were trying to like, the only reason why those things happened is because they sent you back in time to fix it and make sure they happened the way they were supposed to. So the time dragons were keeping the things in place. I'm not going to say that Final Fantasy 14 will take that route, but it'd be an interesting. Forward and back. But I mean, if they like, Alexander was a great example of like how like that fight, like breaking out, watching like the time bubble and stuff like that. That was dope.
I expected to hate Alexander because I usually hate time travel, but the way they put it inside of a stable loop and made everything kind of collapse in on itself in a very sensible way, I guess. It was very well done.
Yeah. If they can do that again, but on a larger scale, I'm okay with that.
I think I would be too. Though, I mean,
Yeah.
if they don't do time travel, it's really obvious that going to another shard would be the go-to example. Because I mean, when they close the
Warriors of
Ascian arc,
Darkness.
yeah, maybe that's how we see Minfilia again. We go to her.
That's a possibility. We get a call or something like that. Like the link cell rings. You're like, it's me. Damn it.
How'd you get this number?
Cue the Peppa Pig meme that I posted the other day. No, I was so ahead. I'm on the new meme train, right? Ahead of the game on the new meme, right? The new Peppa Pig meme. And I was like, hey, Warrior of Light, it's Minfilia. I have a quest, and I did the Peppa meme where she hangs up on the person, and not one like on Twitter. I was like, God damn it! I'm so far ahead of this meme, and when it catches on in 3 weeks, I'm real pissed. Someone takes my goddamn Minfilia joke. Real angry about it.
You just planted a landmine in my head.
Yeah, right? Have you seen the Peppa Pig meme?
I've always had this kind of hope that the final Ascian expansion would be like, go back to Eorzea, go back to Mordona, go back to Charleon, like bring all of that stuff back in. And now I'm picturing like the distraction, Minfilia on the first going between the world, and I'm just imagining trying to do something on the other side of Silvertear Lake, and the link shell just rings, hey, can you come back to the other dimension?
Can you? Like, but it'd be
I need
interesting.
you to
Every
whip
other
some
quest that we
tea.
have. Hey, you're on the other side of the world, but can you come back to talk for 2 minutes and then go back to the other
Back
side?
to the other side of the world.
I'm going to send you back to the other world now. I need you to move some crates in Authored.
Yeah. Get over there. Oh, I think that's it. I think we've lorded up. I think we tinfoil had it a little bit. We discussed the getting into the lore. Is there anything else on the lore play? I know. Listen, Moose. We'll have you back on to discuss lore again. Maybe and we'll probably reach out to the audience and
Real lore.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's coming. But I think as a basis, like we did with RP, like we started off with like why, like when I did my RP, we did the RP episodes. We started off like how do you get into lore, some basic questions, and I think our initial questions with RP, I think the same thing here was, getting Moose on, asking him, getting those, hey, why is it so hard to get into compared to other MMOs? And I think we dug up a lot of things, a lot of good and funny and everything in between. But next time we have you on, I think we'll dig more and deeper into, I want to dig into maybe some of the ancient races and kind of like your thoughts and your crazy ideas of where they are, where they went, and if they are still alive.
I'll keep some notes on that one ready.
Because I have some thoughts and maybe some future expansion thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was thinking that could make a decent expansion too.
No one's ever dead, remember that.
Even it's like the X-Files, even after you see him in the coffin.
I want to believe, Moose. I want to believe.
Dude, I actually have a poster of a blurry Ahriman flying an old Querethus, and it says, I want to believe.
I don't even know what we're going to name this episode.
We'll figure out something.
Do
we have any more closing thoughts?
I don't think I have any closing thoughts. Well, I mean, all right, Moose, do you have any closing thoughts on lore, or do you think people should go check it out, maybe?
I mean, not if you want to close the show. I got a lot of thoughts if you want to be here for another like 4 hours.
Next week. No, you'll be.
That sounds like a show.
You'll be at PAX next weekend. If you're gonna be at PAX, find Moose. I won't tell you what he looks like, but you have to find him.
When I'm there for GE, it's usually like kind of a hit and run thing, so I'm probably mostly only going to be there around Saturday. But I mean, if anybody wants to find me, I will make time.
Yeah. I hear that you have to ask a certain, public relations team for bags. So.
Yeah, I've got to request bags and deliver birthday wishes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely make sure to deliver birthday wishes.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want, send extra birthday wishes from Maelstrom Radio.
Yeah, get a big hug and just say from Maelstrom Radio wishes you a happy birthday, and say also, and then just get real close and be like, thank you for Maelstrom Radio. Just leave. Don't say anything else and just leave. She'll know what that means. She'll get it. Not in chat, is she? No, okay, good. We're good. They'll never listen to this. Anyway.
No, she's probably getting prepared for PAX East.
Probably. With that being said, Shin, do you have any final thoughts on lore?
I do not.
All right, Moose. You want to closing thoughts? Tell people to go. Where can they find lore?
Everywhere, but
there you go.
Really, just don't ever be afraid to stop into the official forums to ask questions, because not only is it much nicer than general discussion, but the dev team watches it very closely. And if there's anything that we don't know and they don't know, they added a lot of it into the game with like a little rib, like, yeah, we read this. So like we'll answer and the dev team will find it, and if it's not answered, it will be answered. So don't ever be afraid to stop in.
Don't tell me that, because we'll be there every weekend with tinfoil hat on and be like over here, like just charts of red string. I'm like, who's Pepe Silva? just laying into.
That's why we don't have nice things.
I know, it's me. It's always me. All
Don't
right,
worry,
well,
Gaius can't be dead if we convince everyone otherwise.
yeah, that's right. Yep. Actually, that's gonna be the name of the show. Gaius isn't dead.
Hashtag Gaius lives.
Yeah, hashtag that's it. Hashtag Gaius lives. We got it, nailed it. Got the show.
That
title.
was my prediction for Stormblood. Just
not
Alphino
over yet.
running around all amigo. Don't believe Varus's lies.
I mean, if his swimming technique has us anything to believe, who knows where he learned it from? He's like, I've been practicing with who, Gaius? Shh. Yeah.
Gaius, the
Thanks.
swim instructor.
Yeah. He became a coach. He gave up. He's got the short shorts and the whistle. He's just blowing it.
Did you see in 4.1 they actually told you who it was?
What? What?
No, did they?
The swim
Who?
instructor? Yeah.
Who was the swim instructor?
It's Arnvald. Arnvald's been taking him down to the super salt lake because you can't sink in it.
Yeah, nope, you can't sink in that. Unless you're the Warrior of Light, in which case it's the exact same as any other water.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter where I go. Echo. So Moose, who and where can people find you and what you do and where you do it?
Okay, most of the stuff that I post is on Gamersgate, but I'm actually pretty far behind in the summaries. I'm going to be catching up on that right after PAX, I think. But mostly it's pretty much any Discord that makes a lore channel, I will be in there. And I will also be in the official forum. And even Gamerscape has a channel you can bother me in.
If you're in, we could probably make a lore channel in the Maelstrom Radio channel. No, we don't. You don't want to do that? Why did you shake your head no instantly? Like maybe people in our chat want to be like ask Moose lore questions.
We could. We can send them to other Discord channels, though. I feel like splitting the lore community is just, it's not as great for the lore community.
What if they don't want to go there and they just want to hang out in our channel? More
They
people
should probably go there.
More people will come to our channel if.
I mean, you can hang out in multiple Discords. I have like a dozen of them.
I have like 30. A lot of RP groups added me. I don't know.
The real big schism in the lore community is just like if you like to like dig and read and spend hours staring at a screen, or if it's like something you want to rapidly discuss with, like watch others with YouTube with. Like if you go to the content creators on YouTube like Ethis, they have absolutely no idea who I am.
See? We can listen, we can be the patriarchs for Moose. We can just make a channel. Like I said, I'm in like so many Discords. It's fine. I'm split amongst the multiverse of RP channels. I'm the big bad, bear daddy for a lot of the RP community.
Gonna say something about this kind of feeling like I'm back in Canada because I'm between a bear and a moose, but
Yeah, you need a totem. Everyone needs a totem.
I'm pretty sure there's a movie on the internet we can find. Between a bear and a moose. A Canadian love story. Don't get off camera. Don't you get off camera. You did this. You did this to yourself. All right, well, while he's over there, I will tell you that you can join us. If you want to be a part of that Canadian love story, you can join us over on Gilgamesh. That's right. Dominant Umbra is our FC. On Gilgamesh, we keep growing lately. We keep adding people. It's kind of fun. It's fun. It's nice. It's awesome. We're also gonna be running Coil tomorrow night. So if you are in the FC, if you're hearing this, if you want to be down and run Coil synced, unsynced.
feel the pain.
Yeah, come join us.
Come get nailed.
Yeah, come get nailed. Well, we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be fun, and people are having a good time in there, making jokes, laughing laughs. Fun times in Arizona Town. Anyway, we do this show weekly on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Most of the time, except when
That's the wrong time zones.
I'm sorry, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Right
There you go. 3-hour time
Jesus.
difference.
Jesus. Ugh. All right. You can find our recorded shows on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Stitcher. You can find us all of our information on maelstromradio.com. You can also find our email at show@maelstromradio.com, which is also on our website. Also find the link to our Discord on our website, and Twitter is twitter.com/@maelstrom_radio. If you have the Twitter, send us tweets, your questions, your likes, throw us a follow. If you see a topic, we try to post the topics a couple of days ahead of time so you can kind of get your things. If we know what's going to be down, we're going to be talking about, we'll probably throw it in there and get your thoughts on it so we can kind of have a more cohesive show. So we're connecting with you, the player base. And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Maelstrom Radio, and Twitch here on twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. I will say this, we are always, I know we want to do more community shows. We did a reach out with the Blitzball RP group. They're doing their finals tomorrow. I believe those are also going to be streamed, and we will host those if they are. I will find out. But just keep your eyes here on Maelstrom Radio if you follow us. And I think they got a live announcer for that, so that should be an interesting stream. As for anything else, yeah, I think we were going to try to do more. Future plans. I know we have some stuff cooking, and I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it yet. I know we have some plans for future episodes. I know I want to do another community show, might be about a certain server, and I'm gonna make some points of contact on that server to find some people that want to talk about it. So and not the people that I normally talk to on the show about it. Not that I don't like them or that I think that they're unable to talk about that server, but I want a different viewpoint from that server. So with that being said, I leave you with Shin and Moose saying goodbye.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming out, Moose.
I thought show was gonna be like, thanks for having me too. It's like, I won't be here next week. This bullshit. Thank you both. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the switches so I can get us out of here. And kapow. Kapow. Like that. I want to thank you all again for joining us for episode 74 of Maelstrom Radio. We enjoy everything this game has to offer. We're going to take, like I said, we're going to take a lot of our FC mates that have never been through Coil and show them that storyline and the lore behind that. And we hope they enjoy it. Like Moose said, jump on the forums, jump into different Discord channels. Don't be afraid to follow him on Twitch. On Twitter at AnonymousXIV. I'm pretty sure he'll answer all your lore questions. Dig deep into the game you play. Until Sea Swallows all, keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is a production of MaelstromRadio.com, Blackfire Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening theme provided by Benjamin Anthony James. You can find more of their music over at soundcloud.com/Ben773. Our outro is provided by Sodo. You can find more of their music over at soundcloud.com/Sodo. Views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of Maelstrom Radio and their hosts, and do not reflect the views and opinions of Square Enix. And until sea swallows all, keep listening.